Hi everybody, and welcome to the start of week 4. I've got the schedule up in front of me, catching up, assessing, moving forward, but there's another theme that should have been up there, and that is professionalize. The things I'm asking you to do this week will ask you to professionalize your blog and also to develop a LinkedIn account if you haven't got one already, or maybe fill one out, develop one if you do have one started. And that's sort of the boat I'm in. And this is a great week for me because I need to do both of those things. I need to spruce up my own personal blog, and I need to fill out my LinkedIn account. The reading for the week, Chapter 6, Social Media for Social Good on LinkedIn, is really pretty interesting. It's not a service that I've used very much, but it encourages the use of it for both personal development, and I think that's an important part for all of you as students who might be thinking about using LinkedIn as a professional site. But it's also a much more social site than I realized. I've joined the group Social Media for Social Good on LinkedIn, and I'd recommend that you do that as well. But let me go to my personal account and just talk to you a little bit about the sorts of things that I'm going to suggest that you do. Make it a little larger here. So one of the things, for example, I'm just going to do like a quick run through here to give you an idea. My personal blog site is by no means in great shape right now. I'm using the grunge theme, which I like. I like grunge music. I think it's a good fit for me, but I know that it needs to be more visually interesting, so I need to work on that rather than the plain banner across the top. I probably want to put a visual in there. I need to work on probably a better tagline here than a personal blog for EC457, especially because I'm going to think about how to use it for more than just the class, which I already do to some extent. So I want to make that clear. So those are a couple of things right off the bat that I want to do. I've been playing around with the categories and the tags a little bit. I tried a category cloud for a while now, which shows you that class note is the most frequent category and procedural rhetoric the second most. And so there's some advantages to that. It's not very neat or organized, so that becomes an important decision. Do you want clouds that show significance, or do you want nice neat lines organized there to show the categories? Tags, same sort of thing. I've actually got quite a few more tags than categories. There's a feature inside of WordPress that'll allow you to actually combine your tags and categories. And while I'm here, this is probably a good place to go. Most of this work that I'm talking about doing, I'll do under Appearance. Go to Themes, where I'll be able to reconsider my theme choice. Go to Widget. Widget is really important. That's where I'm getting the category cloud and the tag cloud and the Twitter feed from this big selection of widgets that are available to you. It's alphabetical. Hopefully many of them will make sense to you, some of them won't, and if they don't, you can explore them a little bit more. One of the things, for example, right here, you could display your blog stats. If you're doing really well, generating a lot of traffic, that might be a good thing to do. If not so busy, you might not want to do that. We've been talking in week 3 about connecting up to Facebook and Twitter, and here's your Facebook like box, so you could include that in there and connect to your account that way. Links, your blog roll is something that you might want to add. And the way you do all of this is just to take any one of these things. Flickr is going to come up in a week, and move it over into the account here, drop it down, and then I'll have to fill in the Flickr URL that I would have on my Flickr account. I won't do that right now, but it's as simple as that. It's as simple as finding the items that you want on here and then dropping them. And then you can also rearrange them. For example, I've been pretty active on Twitter lately, so I might want to move Twitter up to this top. So now the first thing that people will see when they come to my personal blog is my Twitter feed, and I would definitely recommend that as one that you also bring into your personal website. And so the idea is to building on Chapter 3 and building on Chapter 1. To build on Chapter 3 is to connect everything together. Build on Chapter 1 is to develop that personal avatar, develop that sense of who you want to be, who you are online, bringing together your different streams of information. So that's going to be the key. And one of the ways, if you're looking at this and you're still wondering how to get things done, one of the things I am asking you to do this week is to set up, where is it down here? Is to set up, oh, it's under Interactions. Set up an online conference with me this week. I mentioned Skype down here below, but on our Thursday hangout on Google Plus, I was able to do some screen sharing with Lawanda, and she was able to share with me, which is also a feature of Skype, but you have to have the Pro account there. So I think really the way to go, I'll update this, is to meet on Google Plus and also simplify things. So most of you are on there. Those of you who aren't on Google Plus already, make sure you get over there, get your Google Plus account, which many of you might already have if you're using Gmail. Just activate that. And then do send me, and I'll send some stuff out, but do send me a time where you'd like to conference. It could be in the evening, but it could also be during the day. I do want it to be an electronic conference, just as part of the theme of this class. If you also would like a face-to-face one, I'm certainly not opposed to that, but I do want you to have at least one electronic online conference with me. Video conferencing is ideal. It can be as simple as audio. If you can't have access to either one of those, we can do a chat conference, but obviously the other two allow you to cover more ground. And this is all part of, this actually ties back to professionalizing. One of the realities of work in the 21st century is that you'll be working with people probably around the country and around the world. Many of you will in some situation, and so you're very likely to be video conferencing with people in your same organization, or with clients, or with other collaborators, depending on the kind of field that you end up in. I certainly do quite a bit of that right now with people around the country on projects that I'm working on. I'm not doing it daily, but I'm certainly doing it 3, 4, or 5 times a semester, meeting up with people around the country. So it's an important and pretty straightforward skill to have at some level, get the software and use it, but then to also think about, how do I use this really effectively? How do I make the most of it in ways that can move any kind of project I have forward? So that's really important. The other things that are on here are pretty straightforward, is setting up that LinkedIn account and developing that. And here again, I'm pretty guilty of not doing very well on that front, so I've got a lot of work to do. I tend not to have my photo on stuff, but that's one of those little things I need to get comfortable with, or continue to use the ones where you can't quite see me. I kind of like that approach as well. But you see, I've got a lot of information that I can still add to here, so that's definitely part of it. And then for many of you, rewriting a blog essay or catching up on the ones you haven't done is going to be a really important part. I would say if you're not cut up after this week, then we really need to have that talk. After this, if you're not really in the flow of things, and I've mentioned this before, it's about developing that workflow. I see that tonight already Jordan has posted reblogged his post to the site, and so it looks to me like he's somebody who's got a nice workflow going. He's pretty consistently posting every Sunday night, so he's got a plan in place and he's executing that. That's what everybody really needs as they continue to work through the course. Because you might not be writing as much, I have asked you to also focus on the short form. I really think that 140 characters has a lot of interesting ideas, things to try out. It's certainly not meant to be rules you must follow, but things that you should try out. And so let's try to get more active. Hopefully last week, if you weren't tweeting, you were at least listening, and this week you start interacting either with people in our class, or you start interacting with the nonprofits that you're starting to follow. So I think that's all I want to say for this week to get us up and going. Looking forward to meeting all of you online, and hoping to have our strongest week yet. Talk to you soon.